what's up, Kryptonians? I know, I'm very late with this video. This video was supposed to be out a couple of days ago. Life, man, what are you gonna do? The Way Back is a new sports drama film directed by Gavin O'Connor. Sports drama isn't really the word I'd use to describe it. It's much more of a character study type of movie, but whatever. For the purposes of this video, it's a sports drama. This film stars Ben Affleck and it stars Zanini I can't remember her entire name, but I do remember she played that hot Detective McKenna off of season 1 of Arrow. Or was it season 2 of Arrow? I don't know. I'm getting my arrows crossed. Bottom line is she was in this movie. Some other people were in this movie, but mostly the star of this movie centers around Ben Affleck. Ben Affleck plays a guy who used to be really into basketball, used to be a great basketball player, and he kind of walked away from the sport because of some very traumatic stuff going on in his life. This is a man that has struggled with alcoholism and a lot of the pressures and darkness that comes with that. One thing leads to another, and he gets an opportunity to get back into coaching, get back into basketball. He coaches a team that is not that good. You can pretty much write the rest of the story from here if you really wanted to. I really like Gavin O'Connor. I like Gavin O'Connor, and I'm a fan of Ben Affleck, so I definitely was really excited for this movie. Had a really good trailer too. Gavin O'Connor has given me some of my favorite sports drama type of movies, or even if you don't want to call them sports dramas, dramas that have sports in them, but they're really more character-based movies. I was really excited when I heard that Gavin was actually announced to be the director of the second Suicide Squad movie, and then for whatever reason, they decided not to go with Gavin, and they went with somebody else. It's fine. It's fine. I'm over it. I'm not complaining about it anymore. I have moved on, okay? He's not directing Suicide Squad 2. I'm just gonna have to get over it.
Bring Gavin O'Connor back, you fucking cowards!
I will say definitely right off the bat, you have to start with Ben Affleck in this movie. Ben Affleck, I've always thought, is a very talented actor, very talented writer, director, whatever hat that he's wearing, he's usually doing a good job in that role. Definitely you can tell in this performance, Ben Affleck is reaching to a very personal place. I mean, it's well documented, and he's been very open and honest about these issues lately. We all know the kind of stuff that Ben Affleck has been dealing with in his life over the last few years, in particular his struggles with alcoholism. So playing a character, a coach, a former basketball star who is heavy into alcohol, I'm sure that that definitely touched a nerve with Ben, and it made him reach to a very personal place. You definitely feel that in his performance. This is one of those performances where he's actually kind of restrained for a lot of it, and this is not one of those showy look at me type of performances, but definitely you can feel the emotion seeping out of his facial expression, in his voice, in his eyes, in every scene of this movie. Ben Affleck is this movie. Like, the entire movie is all about him. It's all about his arc. It's all about the things that he's going through. He just keeps you glued to the screen, and I gotta give a lot of credit to Ben Affleck, and I gotta give credit to Gavin. It seems like whenever Ben Affleck and Gavin O'Connor hook up, they bring out the best in one another, and I really appreciate that. I thought they did a great job on The Accountant, and once again, they're both bringing out the best in each other here, so kudos to both of them. Sometimes in a sports drama, especially when you know what's gonna happen, when you know what you're getting in for, those boring moments can still happen throughout the runtime. But this movie had the perfect amount of small moments of levity mixed with a lot of really raw human emotion, a good blending of the tones. I really appreciate Gavin and what he brought to this movie. I feel like if you're a basketball fan, you're going to enjoy and appreciate this movie a lot more than people who are kind of casual sports fans and don't really care that much. But I will say this, for a movie that you kind of know how everything is going to happen and how it's going to play out, I appreciate the little left turn that they made towards the third act. Can't spoil it, I'm not going to tell you what it is, but I do think that the way that this movie wraps some things up, it's kind of anti-Hollywood in a sense that it doesn't just tie everything up in a nice, neat little bow. It's one of those endings where it just feels very authentic and very realistic to the characters and the story that they were trying to tell, and I really appreciated that. As far as issues with the movie, I mean, I already listed some of them. It's one of those predictable sports dramas. You already know how a lot of this movie is going to go, particularly the first 2 acts. It's kind of one of those things where it's just like, we've seen so many of these things, we know what to expect, we know what's going to happen, there's a predictability to it, it's kind of formulaic. That's just kind of a thing you have to deal with a movie like this. They're going to take some of those cliches and some of those tropes, and they're going to try to execute the hell out of them. And a lot of the times it works, but it's still, you can't escape the fact that while you're watching it, you're sitting there like, well, I've definitely seen this before. Which I totally get that you could say about a lot of movies, but I don't know, it just kind of hits you different with sports dramas, because I just don't know, like, there's only so many different ways you can tell stories like this. I'll also say that I wish the movie had spent a little bit more time developing the basketball team that Ben Affleck's character is coaching. I feel like most of the movie doesn't really focus on them. It focuses the most on the captain of the team. Even then, I feel like the movie could have fleshed these characters out more, might have added even more emotional depth to the movie. The ending of this movie elevated it beyond what I was going to say, because I was going to say that Ben Affleck was great, but the movie itself was kind of it was okay. I gotta say, that ending elevated the movie, and I definitely think higher of it now. The Way Back was a really emotional, well-made movie. I'm gonna put this one in the Silver Age for Man of Steel. So guys, be honest with me. Would you have wanted Gavin O'Connor to finish Suicide Squad? I know, I've let it go, but I have to know. I have to know that I'm not the only one out there. Please like and subscribe to the Superfan Show. Stay tuned for more videos, and if you like what you see, tell me how you feel, and stay tuned to hear more from the Man of Steel. Peace.